Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to your second best out of three of the day. This is group stage action from Beyond the Summits World Tour. Man, this event, star-studded event to be sure. 15 of the 17 teams that are confirmed to be attending the International are in the lineup. And, well, we have two more teams that will be going coming up for you. Complexity on the Radiant, Absolute Legends on the Dire. This is game number one. I'm LD from dotacommentaries.com, and joining me today is Luminous of dotacommentaries.com. Well, Lumi, we're off to a much more standard start, I have to say, as we see a Leshrac and a Lycan getting banned out.
It's definitely going to be a very 180 change in terms of playstyle. Complexity and Absolute Legend. Two slower teams, they like to fight the mid game. They want to go for those late game smokes. So we're going to be on a long game, but it's a good matchup here. Complexity and Absolute Legend. Both of the teams are one of the earlier invites to the International. They've been together for a long time, having very stable results, stable roster. And let's see what they're going to bring us to the table. Do you know what server we're actually on?
No, but I'm
US West?
I'm gonna check the pings right now. Looks like I believe it is US West. We're seeing everyone. It's got to be because everyone in Complexity sort of around that 50 to 100 mark, and then you have AL all the way up in the 260 area. And of course, Bleak, being from North America, he'll have that 90 ping. So, well, it's something Absolute Legends are certainly used to, playing with the lag. So at this point, while it may be a slight factor for them, if anyone can deal with it, they are the best equipped to do so.
And apparently, if you want to catch Godot's stream, it is going to be on Twitch TV/Godot.
Really? He's streaming for the first person. He may just be advertising a stream. I'm not sure he's actually streaming this game, guys. But yeah,
I don't think he can. I don't think you can actually stream. It is against the rule. But I mean, like, check out his quality chen play for other stuff.
Yeah, one of the very best junglers in the world, up there with Ake Puppy. Just so strong in that jungle position. Speaking of junglers, Chen and Enchantress are both available. So Godot has his pick of the litter if he wants to go for them.
And also, speaking of jungler, Fluffs has got Godot's number when it comes to jungling as well. Fluff, one of the more underrated jungler. He is so good. And again, every time when you see Complexity, you always got to be wary of Chen. They run all their offenses through that Chen, all their defenses through that Chen. And Fluff has the Chen if he wants it. He's thinking about something else, though.
Well, of course, like you said, you can always, there's always that option to counterpick with the Enchantress. There are definitely ways to deal with Chen. We've seen teams pick Chen, as strong as he is. He definitely loses games. I mean, he's not a hero that's unbeatable. Even Lycan loses games. He's picked twice in the last series, didn't win one. Wasn't banned in any of those. And, well, he's banned out this time. In terms of other heroes that we're likely to see picked up early on, Shadow Demon is always a favorite. Yeah, it's going to be a Chen. Will AL counter with the Enchantress? I'm very curious, but Shadow Demon in the pool as well. It's a hero that teams love to pick up, very versatile. Chaos Knight, Panda. Panda is a hero that Complexity has been known to run quite a bit, but it's going to be a windrunner to start. AL really keeping their options open here. Great anti-push. We all know about the windrunner. And then Enigma. So a lot of burst damage. Or not burst damage, but a lot of team fight, a lot of chain stun here from AL right off the bat.
Complexity taking their time with their second pick. I don't think there's too much we need to talk about in terms of these bans. And it's a very standard draft. Very different from the Zenith draft that we are casting.
I'm cooling down, Lumi. I'm catching my breath. I feel like I'm back in my comfort zone. Like I just toured some area of the world I'd never seen before. Whenever Zenith plays a game of Dota. Now I'm starting to get my bearings. I'm sure the viewers are too.
And what are your bearings telling you for the second and third pick here? Tinker.
Oh, there you go. Oh, this is such a cool combo. The Tinker Chen. Chen's so good at keeping heroes alive, and this lets Tinker be even more aggressive than... Tinker has that global presence, and we'll often see Blink Dagger force that, but I love this combo, because you have the Holy Persuasion and the heal. The Tinker can really play aggressively and then still get battled out, even if he's in a bad spot. So I like this pick.
Okay, so this is Luminous coming with you with Broad Dairycraft, which can be absolutely wrong or not applicable here, but real fast, Complexity generally want to play late, right? Do you want Chen and Tidehunter as your support if you know you're gonna play 50-minute of games?
Well, I don't know.
I'm not sure if you do.
No, well, listen. Complexity often gets into they're very kind of patient, calculated style. That's how Complexity likes to play. They're not the balls to the wall aggression of a lot of the CIS teams. They're not going all in with the push strategies. They're not going for the timing pushes like MTW, although they will from time to time. But they really favor that late game. That's where they feel comfortable. But I don't know if it's really going to be a 50-minute game. Even Complexity isn't averaging that. And I think Tide and Chen pretty decent supports. BKB kind of counters the Tide, but Chen's always going to be great. The heals, the ability to send heroes back to base. I don't have a problem with these heroes in late game at all.
All right, well, we'll have to wait and see. Tinker, of course, one of the heroes that could get going very, very quick, and every item that he gets just makes him even stronger and stronger and stronger as the game progresses. I wonder if it's going to be seeing the standard Tinker on that bot lane, just to get the protection of a Chen and Tidehunter. Most likely that will be the case. Or we're going to see something a little bit different. And of course, Witch Doctor's the third pick. I think he's the unsung hero. Witch Doctor 2 games in a row. Or not 2 games, twice so far today. And I think he's a great hero. Not bad against Chen, because those casts will bounce for long durations.
Yeah, also, well, it's kind of a back and forth thing too, because I mean, Witch Doctor gives you a lot of burst. Well, here's a hero that gives you a lot of burst with Soul Catcher, but Maledict very potent in its own right. You mentioned the cast, such a great way to deal with the Chen creeps. To some degree, Chen's heal and the mechanism will counter Witch Doctor, and I guess that's the one issue. Maledict relies on heals really counter Maledict, because then you're not going to take, it ticks 3 times, and each time, for all the damage you've taken, you get hit a little bit harder, but the heal's going to make it so you didn't really take that much damage, so you're not going to take that much more. Skeleton King, oh man, this is a throwback to a couple months ago. Are we going to see like the ganking, roaming, 4-staff sort of initiator style Skeleton King? Will it be a farming Skeleton King? Your guess is as good as mine, but boy, this is not a hero we see a whole lot of.
I mean, what we're going to see right now is Tidehunter being handled by Hannah Montana on the long lane, but one of the weaknesses of Tidehunter is, of course, BKB, as I mentioned earlier, and Skeleton King. I mean, he's great against Tide, he's great against Sand King of all those heroes because his 2 lives. Like, you could burst him down with the first one, but he's going to be right back. Absolute Legend does play Omni Knight from time to time, unless I remember that incorrectly. If you throw Omni Shield on Skeleton King...
well, there's a Shadow Demon. There's a Shadow Demon, so Demonic Purge can remove that.
There's a Purge.
Yeah, and the other thing I'll say is, generally melee carries really struggle against that Purge, aside from Lycan, because he doesn't get slowed by it. But that Purge can be a real issue for Skeleton King. If you get a BKB, it will still go through it. The slow will prevent you from getting into the fight. Still, 4-staff can help counter that. It's an item we see a lot from the pros when they play Skeleton King. Complexity, very bursty lineup here. A lot of ganking presence. Shadow Demon, Chaos Knight, and of course Tinker. One thing I'm going to keep my eyes on is what style will this Tinker be? Will it be a laser rocket? Will Chen be stacking the Ancients for him, and will he be farming them with March? You could do a little bit of both. We've seen players sort of mix and match, but generally it's one style or the other. Either the farming pusher or more of the ganker, sort of aggressive Tinker. And I'm very curious which style they go for this game.
And also, I'm wondering how much complexity is going to give up. Who Absolute Legend will put on the top lane? Tidehunter is going to be there for complexity. That means Absolute Legend could get a lot of free farm if that's what they're going for. They can go put Enigma in the jungle and match Chen's farm and EXP game like that. It might be a very, very passive early game, but when you have heroes like Chaos Knight and Chen on one side, Enigma and I guess Witch Doctor or Windrunner on the other side, like the game could get heated up very, very quickly.
Yeah, I feel like this is a game where, at least based on the heroes we're seeing, things are, I mean, you mentioned heating up. That mid game is really where both of these lineups will shine. Tinker, Tidehunter, Chaos Knight, heroes that are very strong in the mid game. Skeleton King, Windrunner, Enigma, very strong in their own right. Oh, well.
Are they pulling an Infused Dota? Are they pulling an Infused Dota?
I can tell you one thing, Lumi. Complexity is going to be expecting that level 1 Roshan. That is for damn sure. Now, AO might not go for it. But it's something to worry about. For anyone that
does not know what an Infused Dota is about, they do love running Skeleton King and Ursa in combination. You put all 3 of these intelligence heroes as solos in their respective lane, grab a lot of EXP, and you double jungle. Yes, you double jungle with these 2 heroes. And yeah, the enemy team will always expect the first, Roshan at the immediate get, but you don't expect a 2.5-minute Rosh or a 4.5-minute Rosh. Like when you have a combo like this, you could go anytime. And that's kind of the beauty of this lineup. And we'll see. Double melee is very easy to kite with things like Ghost Scepter and 4-stab and all that stuff. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming your way. And that cast, I think that cast is going to be the most imbalanced thing when you have Ursa and Skeleton King whacking people down.
Well, Lumi, it is another melee carry and melee damage dealer. Again, very hard to deal with when you're up against Shadow Demon. It's hard to stay in range on top of people. But that being said, it is just a lot of lockdown to back him up between the Witch Doctor cast, the Malefice, the Black Hole, the Skeleton King's Hellfire Blast, and Shackle. AL do have the Chain Stun to help mitigate that Purge, to help mitigate the disruption, the Gush, a lot of slows for complexity. So there's some potential on both sides here, but generally speaking, these melee carries tend to struggle against Shadow Demon, especially the single target ones. Yeah.
I'm reminded to remind you that you want to turn on your
it is.
mic.
Oh, I'm one step ahead of you. Yeah, again, for anyone who's watching client, apologize if that first minute or so is sometimes missing. I do have to type something in the console to turn on the mic, and well, sometimes I'm making sure the stream's up and running, talking about the picks, and I forget. But you didn't miss a whole lot in terms of that first minute. How is AO going to lane this? I guess that's the big question right now. It's an awkward lineup in terms of the lanes.
You have a lot of options when you want to lane this like that. I talked about how you want to throw all 3 of these intelligence hero as solo, and then you have the 2 double jungle. But you can always, of course, run the very standard, Witch Doctor Ursa or Witch Doctor Skeleton King. You throw one of the melees into jungle because they could definitely handle the jungle lane by themselves fine. So they have options, not all of which are great options because you have Skeleton King and Ursa, but options nonetheless. Godot's going to be playing the Skeleton King, usually the support player. For Team Shaitan handling the Witch Doctor, Bleak playing the Enigma. And I like how they give the most, I guess, a control-reliant hero to Bleak, as he is playing with no lag, basically. Because you want to no lag when you're playing Enigma. Music Up handling the Windrunner, and of course, Smokey Bear playing a very, very Smokey Bear hero.
Yeah, speaking of that Smokey Bear, he is... How did he get here, actually? Well, either way, his team's all on the fountain. I guess he was moving while he... I think you can move when you pick your heroes before the picking screen actually goes away. It's kind of... I would call it a bug, but... Either way, he's made his way to the middle of the base. We will offer complexity. Fluff and stuff on his signature jungle here in that Chen. TC has finally tapped into the game. He'll be playing that Chaos Knight. Jo, generally the farmer here for complexity, one of the farmers for them. He'll be playing the Tinker. Hannah Montana on that support role. Most likely going to be... Well, actually, no. It looks like he'll be farming Tide since it's Hannah Montana played. It won't be, probably the 3 position for him. And IX Mike on that Tard support. He'll be playing the Shadow Demon.
And any guesses for this lane? This team's lineup is going to be very, very easy, right? Are we going to see the solo mid Tinker, or you think a dueling mid and Tinker defensive bot lane?
I think we're going to see a Tidehunter soloing, whether it's mid or top, I'm not sure.
He's soloing top. Hannah Montana has been married to the long lane. He's not going anywhere else.
It's a love-hate relationship for all these long lane players. Stout. A lot of players like to go boots first when they go to that long lane, especially it's Tide. But he's going to opt for the Stout Shield and another pause.
Yeah, Complexity's going to go all 5 into jungle and make sure they get a couple wards down, or at the very least prevent the wardage coming from the other side. Tidehunter's going to leave once the clock ticks down to about 30 or 40 seconds. He's going to start making a journey up top. And whoever is playing the mid lane is going to start going there around the 20-second countdown time. These teams have figured it out down to the exact seconds when they'll leave. Meanwhile, Absolute Legend evidently did not go for the level 1 Roche. And the Radiant didn't even check, so I guess both sides taking it for granted that either Roche will be checked or Roche will not be attempted.
Look at the Skeleton King. Sentry wards, Observer wards picked up.
Yeah.
And they were pulled towards him, as he does have the Stout Shield in the healing side. I think he bought one of these sets. I think that math is right. Yeah, he bought one set of wards, but another was given to him. A big investment for these wards early, and when you're up against Chen, this is very important to control those jungle camps, whether you're actually blocking the camps or just having vision of his movement through the jungle. Not only to try and gank him, but also to avoid getting ganked. So, offensively and defensively, the placement of these wards will be absolutely crucial.
And the question is, do we have sentry wards on Complexity? Yes, IX Mike is holding them, so they're absolutely ready as
Very well prepared.
And there's going to be engagement on the river, and it depends on whether Absolute Legend want to charge up the hill. It's not a good choice, and no, they're not. Everybody sees everybody else. I think TC is checking the Roche.
They were thinking about it, maybe trying to bait a fight here. TC goes in first, and well, if anyone gets initiated on, he's probably the best one to be in the front lines, but they're going to back off.
Yep. And right now, Fluff, yes, warding off the ancient pool. I want to make sure that there's no shenanigans going on, because there is going to be a lot of junk.
They spotted it.
Spotted, but it's going to be somewhat difficult to counter ward it, because you have to put a sentry ward in the actual river itself, and you see that Skeleton King is doing exactly that. It is very important to deward this camp, because Ursa and Skeleton King would like to spend a lot of time in this position, jungling up together.
Is this a
but
solo
for now, Skeleton
King
is so brave. What the hell is he doing right now?
Uh-oh. Godot off in no man's land. Perhaps trying to hot dog it up to advertise the stream a little bit. He's going to back up. Looks like Musica's heading up top. Is this a Witch Doctor solo mid? It looks like it might be.
Oh man, look at what Fluffing IX Mike's doing right now. They thought they warded off there, but they did not.
Oh, that's what he was doing. That's what the SK was doing. That was some mind games there by Godot. Nice play by him.
casually walking in there, making sure, making the enemy think that he dropped the ward. And
it's a Witch
really
Doctor solo mid to start it off, and they're going to be jungling from level 1. The Ursa, the Skeleton
I'm telling you, Infused Dota, try Intelligence Heroes, giving them solo EXP, and the Ursa Skeleton King go jungling it up. There you go.
Ursa, or excuse me, Enigma in the offlane up against a Chaos Knight. It's a pretty decent offlane here for AL, and up top it's a Windrunner versus a Tide. So all their lanes are decent. I mean, Witch Doctor's not bad as a solo hero. It's just that he scales pretty well without items, so generally you see him as a support. But he definitely has good base damage, a good auto attack. He can farm reasonably well, harass reasonably well, but Complexity is not going to let them do this Ancient unopposed. They got the big dragon. That was the prize, really. They're halfway to level 2 off of that. But Complexity is not quite ready to go up the hill. They're thinking about it, though.
Yeah, Fluff and stuff trying to do it, but look at all those Eidolons. In fact, that
body
Dark
block.
Ruler, if it dies, it's going to give so much gold. Enigma is, of course, giving gold to the enemy team as he's feeding these Eidolons as well. But yeah, here comes Skeleton and Ursa. I think at this point, Complexity is losing the war of attrition, if you even call it this, because Absolute Legend, at the very least, they're gaining an Ancient Camp or two. And, Complexity, you're getting nothing. You're getting Eidolons.
Lumi, two interesting things I'm noticing about this. When you have those two heroes at the Ancient stack, well, because you have an Enigma in the off lane, you have that +1 if you need it. I mean, he's only level 1 right now, but... I mean, we saw the Eidolons, he can also walk in with Malefice when he gets some levels. So they can help each other out. Also, it protects the Enigma from backstabs. Because if they try to do a smoke gank wraparound at the tier 1, well, the Skeleton King and Ursa, angry Undead Man, and the Bear as well, will be waiting for you. So it's not just the Ancient farming, it's not just the Roshan gimmick. Oh, the Tornado blocks the camp!
Beautiful play!
Oh, man! But they're gonna get a DD, and SK, no points in stun, can't cancel that Tornado! Wow.
No, it's the Tornado. He sent the Tornado in to block the respawn time on the Ancient. That's huge. That's at least 250 gold actually denied straight up, and that's a lot of EXP. You can see Skeleton and Ursa just giving up now. It's like, okay, well, we'll go back to our jungle. Back in the mid lane, you talked about Shaitan on that Witch Doctor. Very, very strong last-hitting hero because of the high damage and decent animation. But very interestingly, he's not going for the Maledict. Voodoo Restoration is going to be his build. Not sure whether I like that, but I mean, on the flip side, you actually don't need Maledict, at least very early. If you have heroes like Ursa, they are going to die regardless of Maledict or not anyway, so, you know.
You know, I wonder, I'm trying to think of, well, maybe it's to help with the Roshan later on. Maybe they just want to, I mean, whenever you go into the Rosh pit, you don't want to drop too low in terms of your health, and, well, they're going to go for a smoke gank here. Go down, wrapped around, Jo is in a world of trouble. No Maledict, I don't think they need it. Jo going to get melted up. There's your first blood. Played by Godot. That's a quick pair of boots if he wants it.
The awesome thing about having an Ursa and Skeleton King is you never really know where they are because they're always approaching out of jungle. They're such an awesome ganking force together. Any stun plus Ursa is all you need. And look at every single lane. They have available stun, so every single lane is a gankable target. And here you go. They're right back. They're right back on this Ancient Camp.
You know, this is one of the reasons why we see Tinker in that off lane is he's very squishy. I mean, even two heroes that are not great gankers in the Ursa and the Skeleton King, it's enough to kill him off. I mean, we saw he dropped from full health there.
Witch Doctor picking up himself a magic bottle, and yes, another pair of Smoke of the Sea that's being delivered to the Skeleton King as we do see him. And here we go. I think that thing is gonna get stunned and get picked off. There you go. Yeah, more EXP. Thanks, Chen. Oh, and Chen dominates another creep on the other side of the map, and when you do that, that creep immediately dies.
Oh, Lumi, I think they have their eyes on Roshan. I think this next smoke is gonna be for the big rock man. Not for a gank, but I mean, they're both level 3 if they want to go for Roshan. They should be able to do it now, and he's actually got 2 points of Impure Gara. It's such a potent combo. If you're able to get the Rosh off, Jo making a go for the Haster bottom, he's gonna get there in time. They're not gonna cancel.
And of course, IX Mike doing a very good job. They're expecting that as well. They're starting to check. And this is, again, the beauty of Ursa Skeleton King. You have the access into Rosh basically anytime you want to do so. It is such an easy pickoff. If they give you just like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, you can do it off. So it's keeping IX Mike constantly around to check. And, well, he's not farming right now if he's doing that.
Well, I'm taking a look at the farm right now, and I have to say, Complexity is really dominating here in terms of the creep scores. That being said, I'll have a few Ancients, which are worth a lot of gold. Still, it's not a whole lot. I mean, Ursa 11 creeps.
Here comes a gank on the mid.
Oh, 3 hero gank. They're smoked up. Are they going to get Jo again? Cast to start. It's going to bounce through. Ursa looking for the clap to haste. Oh, he's going to get away. It looks like. Oh, just barely. And that is where you want Maledict, my friend.
Yeah, I think Goda waited a little bit too long for that stun. Maybe he was expecting a cast to bounce a second time, but unfortunately it did not. And they missed a kill. And of course, a haste room being very helpful in that. But just, look at the top lane for a brief moment. 20 creep kill on Windrunner, and Hannah has got 20 as well. So hey, he's keeping up. He's gonna have level 6 right now.
Right, but overall, Complexity definitely winning here in terms of farm. They have 4 heroes getting farm. Even IX Mike has 8. Compare that to AL, only 1 hero above that 20 mark. And, well, I expect to see it reflected in the gold graph. It's about a 750 gold lead. Again, it's not a big lead, and, well, AL has a lineup that can easily turn the tides with that Roshan. He doesn't only give your team a bunch of gold, it's also a lot of levels. You'll easily jump up 2 levels of the stage of the game, if not more, so...
I actually would like to disagree. I think it is a big lead, despite 750, considering that they got the first, or they lost the first blood, right?
Right, that's true.
Absolute Legend got the first blood, and that was what, a 300, 400 gold swing. And despite that, they're still down by a whole bunch. Again, they're still ancient keeping, and again, Complexity, such a good job. Keep checking the Roshan. Don't want to give up any lead. And
bottom lane, disruption to start. They're gonna make a go here. A Bleak, 1 second stun, not what TC was hoping for. He is level 6. They're still gonna get the kill.
Yeah, damage output is very, very strong. Suddenly, when the Enigma dies, this tier 1 might be in a little bit of trouble. Tornado in position to keep on pushing and keep on pressuring. But for now, this tier 1 will survive. It is going to take some big damage. Enigma's going to pour back as soon as he can. And right now, Ursa and Skeleton Gate, they're not getting too much ground because these constant checks by Ix Mike and Fluff and stuff.
Yeah, they have a great lineup to deal with this Roshan. We keep on talking about it. AL have not made a go for it yet, but they're smoked up. Are they going to go mid again? Yep. No, this time they want to make a go on the pit. It doesn't take long. It only takes maybe 30 seconds or so, if not less, to bring them down. Will it be enough time is the question. TC rotating around. We'll have to see. The one thing about this combo is they don't really drop too low in terms of the health. Whereas if you're just soloing as Ursa, you might be in trouble. TC charges in. Oh, he gets stunned. Smokey Bear looking for the kill. This is the stand-in. Are they going to have enough damage to bring him down? 3 seconds stun. Oh, is he going to get away? The rocket fight through. Defensive disruption. What a play there. Shatan in a lot of trouble. He will go down to the Soul Catcher. Smokey Bear on the chase. There's no disruption to save IX Mike now. Musica, meanwhile, getting a solo kill up top on Tide, but our eyes there focused on this action mid. Jo has 4 points of rocket, 2 in March Machines. And in the end, no Roshan claimed.
Radiant's middle tower.
Well, at least not yet, man. But that Chaos Knight disruption, that was absolutely clutch. And of course, he survived and regen enough to survive another right click from Witch Doctor and made it out alive. At the end of the day, it was a 1-for-2 trade, 1-for-1 trade. Tidehunter dies separately on the other side of the map, and Musica is slowly controlling that lane. You can see in his item already, Ring of Regen. He is going to be going for the mech. A lot more supportive of Windrunner, considering that, hey, Ursa Scouting is jungling, so you don't have that secondary support. In any case, Witch Doctor has his magic battle going. I wonder who's actually going to be getting the wards. It is actually Ursa and Skeleton King. They were buying the wards for the team. Such an odd game. Such an odd game.
This is something you never see, whether it's a pub or a pro game. Especially for both of them to be playing. I mean, it's primarily the SK. The Ursa has been getting some items for himself. He's got phase boots. He's got the Ring of Basilius. Still, Complexity are doing okay. They're heady in there. Jayo's got 1,300 gold. He's not far off from his Boots of Travel. And if you look at the Dire lineup, they're not the most mobile in the world. Really, only Windrunner has a mobility skill to work with. That's going to make life difficult for tracking down this Tinker. Up top, Hannah Montana chasing back Musica. Not going to actually commit. I feel like AO...
When will...
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the question is, when will Smokey Bear and his friend feel safe enough to go back into the Roche Pit? The reason they went in earlier is when they saw 3 hero pushing down the tier 1. They're like, okay, well, you can take our tier 1, we'll take the Roche. Unfortunately, they just lost the tier 1 for nothing. They are going to go right back right now. Unfortunately, they got to start up from square 1 again because the damage has been regen. And the stacks, of course, for Fairy Swipe does reset after 8 seconds. So, slowly working on it again. And will Ix Mike and his squad check?
Oh, he's on the way. He wants to throw some Shadow Poison out there. Oh, look at the range on that. He is seeing it. They know they're doing it. Will they be in time? It doesn't look like it. Oh, it's going to be close. Disruption will allow them to set this up. Rocket flying through, hitting Shatan, dropping him to half health instantly. Soul Catcher on Ursa, but he's getting bashed. Wilpy enough. The laser coming through. The Dire gets the kill. The Aegis on the ground. Grab that Aegis. TC jets the Aegis. What a play. Pulls in Bleak onto the low ground. Bleak has the black hole. Looking for the opportunity. TC is going to drop once. Can they kill him again? We'll have to see. He comes back to life. He wants to get out of here. He wants out. Will TC find it? Look at that Witch Doctor. Oh, from high ground to low ground. They get TC. Black coL only holding Fluff in place. Hannah Montana, actually a great Ravage, gets one, actually hits 3, gets 1 kill. They're not done just yet. Bleak tanking up a lot of damage. Hannah Montana has a haster, there's no way they're going to be able to kill him off. But he's actually charging in, he wants kills, he's going to pay for this with his life, I believe. Chen sends him back to base, Fluff and stuff keeping Hannah Montana alive. Looks like he is going to get out. In the end, the Aegis jacked by Complexity. Dire get the gold. Rocket sniping off Musica. Look at the rage on him. Oh man, what a fight. What a fight.
You could call it a Roshan steal, but that's like the worst steal of all time because DC just walked in, he got stunned, and he walked in further and picked up the Aegis. Nobody had an empty slot. I don't know what Absolute Legend was doing there. But in any case, at the end of the day, he traded TC, who stole the Aegis. Unfortunately, he didn't get the last set, but he stole the Aegis nonetheless. He died eventually, but he got an Ursa, so hey, it was a pretty big win. Now, instead, Absolute Legend still got the last set on the Aegis, so they got the EXP and gold, but still a pretty big win for for Complexity, in my opinion.
Well, also the Tinker got a kill. He's getting real close to those boots of travel. They're really not fast, and I'm looking at the Ancients. They have not been stacked yet. So it's something we see a lot, especially when you have a Chen. But
they didn't have time.
Yeah.
They were checking Roshan.
It's the power of that combo. They had to worry about Rosh. You're exactly right. I mean, Shadow Poison is one way to scout, but you need the creeps to go in there too. I mean, we saw the Tornado being used to try and block up the Ancients. Even though they're doing a decent job of shutting down this Ursa and SK, it requires a lot of attention to do it. And it's the power of that combo.
Yeah, and because they're doing that, I mean, Ix Mike and Fluff and stuff could be in a higher level right now. They're only level, 5 and 6 respectively. They could be around 7 and 8, depending how the ganks go. But for now, I think Complexity is in a decent position. Chaos Knight is doing fairly okay. He's 1-1-1. Drums is going to be his next standard item of choice. Meanwhile, Windrunner on the Musica on top lane here, not too much, just a headdress.
Yeah, TC continue to get that farm going as well. Power Treads and Bracer picked up on him. Overall, if we look at the gold, it's pretty even. And, you know, normally you expect to see that Skeleton Key and Ursa getting a lot of Ancients early on. Then you have 3 solo heroes. Maybe pull ahead, but, you know, you've got the Chen to kind of counteract it. He's got a Mechanism up already on Fluff and stuff. He's getting close to 7. This is a Chen who's going to have a pretty big impact here as we approach the mid-game. Such an early mech. Really counters the burst damage of Ale, especially with the heal as well. Yeah.
The key thing for me in this game right now is that Jail's got his Breach of Travel finish in 12 and 30. Not the earliest BOT, but it also means he could teleport in any single lane and start harassing like crazy with his rocket. He has max rockets as his first build, and yeah, he's gonna go to a lot. Look at Shaitan right now. He can't do anything. He could just go up top and shoot a couple of lasers, or rockets, excuse me, and then go back mid. Like, he's keeping this easy stuff.
Look at the rocket just sieging them back. Ravage in from the back line.
Ravage, and he's gonna get a double right now. Okay. And meanwhile, Bear teleports in right now. He gets purged. That cast bouncing left and right. Soul catchers on him right now, but they're not gonna dive. 2 rockets and a Ravage from backstab. Man, I did not expect Hannah to just come out of nowhere, and neither did the Dire, but they got 2 easy kills, and that tier 1 is gonna go down. Meanwhile, on the top lane here, they want TC or they want that tower. Wow, TC's gonna go on the offensive against 2. Really? And Tinker's gonna come in. That's the power of the global hero music. Really gonna get forced out. Reality Rift gonna pick him up. Do we have the stun in 2 seconds? Where's the stun? No, he gets stunned off first. And the Musica will be fine. Just barely though.
TC in full-on man mode there. Boy, he is quite tanky and scary. This is a Chaos Knight who is getting farmed. Very different from the one we saw last game in the previous series where he just didn't have anything. I mean, he's already got more farm than that Chaos Knight did in 30-40 minutes. It's looking better for this guy, that's for sure.
Fortunately, that Chaos Knight also went 0 in like 9 or 11 or something, so.
You know, if you look at Complexity, they got the tier 1. They've got all their core items up. I feel like if you're Complexity, you're very happy with the way this game is going. Boots of Travel on the Tinker. Chaos Knight is getting tanky. Mech up on the Chen. The Tidehunter, he's getting close to a blink, actually. Shadow Demon, of course, not having items. That's to be expected. I feel like Complexity is in a great position right now.
I think they are. It just depends where they want to take this game. Do you want to go into a farming mode against Ursa and Skeleton King, or you want to go for a little bit of tower pressure? The former case might be a little bit better, and it looks like that's exactly what they're doing on the top lane. Music being forced back. This is what a Butcher Travel Tinker does for you. Essentially, you have endless amount of mana, and you make tower pushes, tower defenses so much easier. So much easier.
Right, he doesn't have to damage the tower to be a pushing hero, you know? He drives the enemy back, that means they're not killing the creep wave. and they're not defending the push. They haven't brought the tower down yet, and of course March of the Machines as well doing a lot of damage to the 3-point. He'll TP out, but of course he can always rejoin the fight at a moment's notice. And I gotta say, I feel like this Witch Doctor has just not had many openings that have an impact. It's the Taker with the rockets. He just can't walk in.
Well, he's gonna he's gonna need a couple more items in a team fight, and also you gotta keep in mind that Skeleton King and Ursa will be drawing a big barrage of those stuns. That means his Death Wards can, in theory, be awesome. But theory is one thing, reality is another. So let's see if he's gonna pull it off.
Both teams posturing for position here up top. They knock down the tier 1. Is Complexity going to continue the chase or to push? They certainly can take your TPs in. Jayo sitting on 1,000 gold. Very curious what he'll go for next. Will it be something like a 4-staff? We've seen Dendi rush Yules. There's a couple of options. Sometimes people go for a naked type of ice. But we'll have to see. He's farming quite well, though, overall. And Complexity, constant pressure. Double rocket sends everyone back. And Jayo can rearm and do it all over again.
Yep. And of course, if he's ever too low on mana, Chen could send him back as well. Phantasm, just a single point. Gonna be used to do damage to this tower. Yeah, they're pressuring for towers. They realize that they can just take a big advantage in this game right now, and they are gonna do so. Tower is gonna be forfeited by the Dire Squad, or are they gonna charge in? Skeleton King does have his level 6. In fact, I think by charging in, they are gonna defend this, but here comes the Tinker.
TP's back in. Godot finally has level 6 and his boots as well. Stun onto Jayo, but Jayo just not taking much damage. Chaos Knight in the thick of things. Reality Rift canceled by Malefice. Great ravage on every single hero. And now Complexity completely controlling the pace. Hannah Montana is hasted. They're going to pick off Godot here from the looks of it. Godot getting trapped, surrounded by enemies. Rockets flying through, doing a lot of damage. The TC can continue to chase Shackle on 2 heroes, but it doesn't look like it'll be enough. IX Mike, nice disruption. Shadow Poison to follow. Hannah Montana on a killing spree. And Complexity just in full command of this game right now. Big gold lead, big experience lead, winning the fights and winning them convincingly.
I think we're seeing the issue of this lineup, and as ironic as it sounds, it's because of Ursa and Skeleton King. They have no sight. This was the second time that Hannah was able to backstab and drop Ravage on more than 2 heroes. That cannot happen, especially on a tower push and a tower defend. Yeah, there's no sight on the high plateau, and Hannah waltzed in, and that Ravage, if it hits on so many people, you are going to just flat out lose that team fight.
Well, it's only going to get worse if he wants to. He could go for that Blink Dagger now. Got a lot of gold to work with, 2,500 on the Tide. Could also opt for an early pipe. It would certainly be decent against this Dire Squad. Helps you deal with Maledict. They have a decent amount of nuke damage, but for the most part, and here's my concern, is they're very reliant on these right-click melee carries to do the damage. And, well, if they try to run in, they're eating rockets, they're eating March of the Machines. It's a lot of damage, and they're just not tanky enough right now to deal with it.
Yeah, Tornado up in the air right now, and here comes the Skeleton King. He is that melee carry, but he is... well, he doesn't have his ultimate either, and it's going to take us a long while before he gets it. He's only level 7. I mean, you got to keep in mind, he was playing the support, he was buying smokes, he was buying wards. And his team doesn't actually have the item to come back. You can see that Ursa, for going to Blink Dagger, wants the BKB to have any kind of resemblance of a carry, but it's not getting close. And Jayo, ever so close to his... no, he's got his 4-staff. Man, if he gets Hexed before that BKB is finished, it's going to be really rough.
Oh, that would be game. I mean, I'll just say, if he gets a Hex before a BKB is up, that will be game. Now, the one thing I will say... oh, actually, they're going to make it go on Bleak. 2 seconds stun. Bleak is dead. Ravage is still cooling down, but they're going to go anyway. Jayo charges in another great Shackle shot, but where is the damage? It's TC doing all the damage here. Smokey Bear driven back, brought down. Disruption on the Skeleton King. They're going to back off. And Complexity can now claim another tower. The mech is used. They still have the Chen heal if they need it. Will they even stop here? Are they going to look at that army? It's a massive army, not only of images, but also of creeps. And this is where Cass doesn't do a whole lot. Shackle shot onto TC, but Ravage is up. They use it now. Godot in a lot of trouble. He'll be brought down. Smokey Bear next in line. TC Reality rifting forward, also protecting himself. Great Chen heal, great patience there. And the GG flies out from Bleak. And, well, this is not an early GG. They were about to lose Rex anyway. It was a nice attempt by AL. Definitely an unusual approach, but Complexity were fully prepared for that strategy.
Yeah, they kept checking Roshan. They kept annoying the Ursa and Skeleton King. You gotta remember, they dropped wards at the ancient camp. They kept sending skeletons. They sent Wildguns. They were just annoying to the max. Make sure that even at the Roshan, they challenged it. They even stole the Aegis. Hey, Complexity just played it perfect, and they did not give away, did not succumb to the surprise factor of that Ursa and Skeleton King combo.
Yeah, I give AL a lot of credit. Just like we were talking about with Zenith, though, they are experimenting. They're trying new things out. This is a perfect tournament to do it. You know, you're coming up with the international. You're going to be playing a lot of teams in this tournament that you're likely to see there at some point in the event. So if ever there was a time or an event to practice to try new things, this is the tournament to do it. And of course, this is only game 1 of a best out of 3. We're just waiting for the final score screen here. But at the very least, guys, we will have 1 more game coming your way, possibly 2 if AL can take it to a game 3. I am curious to see if AL is going to try something else new, if they're going to go back to more stable picks. We'll have to see, but I mean, although it didn't work out, Lumi, I felt like there was a little potential there. You know, things didn't exactly go their way. The Aegis Jack in the end turned out to be pretty big. Maybe if they had that Aegis on their side, things would have gone differently.
Yeah, Ursa would not have died, and in fact, if he died, he'd probably survive and come and get another couple kills. But right now, Musica is like, you know what? I'm gonna one-man defend this and waste everybody's time, but that's cool. That's what he wants to do.
Yeah, Musica, of course, play that Windrunner. Micro and his team, black hole on 3. Power shot flying through.
He should play Enigma instead. Look at that black hole. That was sick.
4-second stun though. Musica probably going to go down. The Windrun is used. Reality Rift available. Not going to use it. And at some point, Musica will probably just get fluff and stuff buys back.
Hey, he's got the Witch Doctor. He's got the Death Ward. Here he goes.
Uh-oh. He's looking for that opening. He's fishing for it. But Cat's bouncing through. Great bounces too, hitting almost exclusively. Here's 2 here, Shackle. Look at the micro from Musica. This guy should be playing Chen perhaps. And TC is going to pull the Witch Doctor back in. He's got the Sanjayasha. It's another kill. 3 kills for 1. And very soon we should see the Rex go down here, I believe. As Fluff and Stuff looks to rejoin the fight, sends TC back to base. Ursa SK charging, but Ravage immediately puts an end to any ambitions of getting kills, or does it? Ursa gets 1. He's not done just yet. Look at that test of faith, just chewing him apart. Skeleton King
After Legend, she just picked her heroes, and then I'll go just let Music handle that.
And Music's had enough. He taps out.
You're dead.
I have to say, a very impressive display of micro. And it's, you know, it's one thing to micro with a hero like Chen, where at least you practice it. Nobody practices microing 4 or 5 heroes on a regular basis. You know, so having all the ability hotkeys down, that takes some skill, man.
Unless he's using QWER, which is the same for everything then. Right?
Yeah, I may or may not use that as well.
And here we go, game 1 is in the book. The best of 3 series will resume with game number 2 coming your way. Complexity up 1 game apiece. And of course, you are watching the World Tour from Beyond the Summit, brought to you guys by dotacommentaries.com. I am luminous from DC, and of course, our main caster today was LD. And he's from dotacommentaries.com as well. That's it for game number 1. Game 2 coming your way.
Thanks, guys. Stay tuned. Yeah, soonish. We'll have it coming soon. Thanks, guys. Stay tuned. We'll be back with game 2 any moment now.